Hi there, and welcome back to the HQ. Today, we are going to be watching Sonic the Hedgehog versus DBZ by Beware. Now, looking at it, this appears to be like a power scaling video, like putting Sonic the Hedgehog, the character, up against various characters from Dragon Ball. And I happen to be an aficionado with power scaling and Sonic in general, so I know how Sonic stacks up. I know that Sonic, frankly, is pretty busted. We saw in that death battle, Cell versus Metal Sonic, that Metal Sonic sweeps Cell. So we know that Sonic is incredibly busted. So just how busted is he? I guess we're gonna find out. So let's jump right in and see how crazy Sonic is when it comes to power scaling.
Is Sonic strong enough to beat Frieza or the rest of the villains from Dragon Ball Z? I
For
promise
sure.
The answer
Oh, yeah.
will surprise you.
I don't think the answer will surprise me. I know how crazy busted Sonic is. So let's just see if, if the maths.
Because in researching this video, I stumbled onto a bunch of obscure feats and calculations from different games that I never see anyone talking about.
Obscure
I even
feats.
uncovered some evidence that Sonic is more than just a hedgehog. But I'll save that secret until the end. You won't believe some of the
More than
stuff
just a
this
hedgehog.
little blue dude is capable of, because no one understands just how strong Sonic is.
I understand pretty well. I mean, I know how busted Sonic is. But let's see how busted you think Sonic is.
Until today. In this video, we'll be pitting Sonic up against a gauntlet of Dragon Ball villains. Raditz, Vegeta, Frieza, Cell, Boo, and maybe even a few others. We'll be covering Sonic strictly from the video game continuity. All the way from Sonic 1 on the Genesis up to Sonic Frontiers. This will not include any feats from the comics, cartoons, movies, or spin-offs like Sonic Boom. First, So then no movie Sonic, obviously. No Archie Sonic, obviously, because he's a different Sonic. Does that include IDW? Because IDW is canon. And technically, so is Sonic Prime, if we're to be believed. But, yeah. So this is proof right here. Everybody says, oh, Archie Sonic is the most busted Sonic. And it's like, clearly you don't know Sonic all that great. Because I know how busted game Sonic is. Super quick rundown of Sonic's basic abilities. But don't worry, I'll keep it brief, because gotta go fast, right?
Yeah.
Sonic is an anthropomorphic hedgehog, naturally blessed with enhanced speed, strength, durability, and endurance. He can obviously run extremely fast, but also make use of boost energy, propelling himself forward by generating inertia from nothing, even in midair. This is often used in conjunction with his homing attack.
Yeah, very true.
And launching at an enemy to bash them with incredible force.
Yeah, I mean, basic gameplay stuff. I mean, we know how Sonic operates.
Sonic's speed is incredible. He can run up vertical surfaces, across the surface of water, create after images, and even move so quickly that it appears like there are a dozen of him attacking a single enemy. Okay,
now that's a bad example, because that is that's just like a power from Sonic Superstars. That is not applicable to that.
Something that will be very important
a decent visual
in this video is that Sonic gets stronger and faster as he gets older. In
also true.
Sonic Generations,
very true.
Classic Sonic learning the boost.
Yeah.
In Sonic Forces, we see him battle Infinite multiple times. Infinite points out that Sonic's abilities exceeded their previous encounter, and Sonic claims that he grows stronger every second.
Very true. So it's like right there, like two examples of like Sonic being like in perpetual growth of strength and power and speed. Because it's like, even in the 3DS version of Sonic Generations, it's like by the time you reach the second collection of levels, classic Sonic already learns the homing attack. So, and then by the end, he's learning the boost as well. So, it shows that Sonic learns pretty quickly, and then with the fight with Infinite, Sonic gets mollywopped in his first fight with Infinite, and then he holds his own against him, in their second encounter, because Sonic is getting stronger every second.
Like Saitama. This is a statement and probably hyperbole, but I think the best example of this phenomenon is that Sonic was unable to defeat perfect chaos without transforming into Super Sonic.
Very true.
During their battle in Sonic Adventure.
Very true.
But later, when an older and more experienced Sonic fought perfect chaos in Sonic Generations, he did it in his base form.
Yeah.
Another example is from the opening cutscene to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Super Sonic is so much less impressive that it only takes a single surprise attack from Knuckles to knock him back into base form.
Granted, it is a surprise attack, so yeah, it's a little iffy there.
But later versions are completely invulnerable to final boss level foes. What this means is, if there is a feat or statement that shows Sonic's limit of speed or strength, we can disregard it if a later feat contradicts it, because
Also
Sonic
very
just
true.
grew more powerful
Yeah.
over time.
Sonic
the
getting
Sonic we see in
perpetually
Frontiers is
stronger.
significantly more powerful than any version we've seen thus far. Be sure to keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah,
Sonic
keep that
also
in
has
mind.
access to the Chaos Emeralds, ancient otherworldly artifacts that contain a limitless amount of positive and negative energy. By tapping into their positive energies, he can utilize Chaos Control, allowing him to teleport across massive distances between dimensions and freeze time. With 2 or more emeralds,
Yeah, we know how Chaos Control
can
works.
open up portals in time, used to travel to any desired point of the past or future.
I mean, technically, you need 2 people enacting Chaos Control simultaneously to do that, but at the same time, Chaos Control is basically just wibbity-wobbity, timey-wimey bullshit that, you know, it's pretty much just used as a plot convenience. Because if that's the case, when Super Sonic and Super Shadow used Chaos Control at the end of Sonic Adventure 2, why didn't it do it then? Why didn't they open a time warp then? Because it just does whatever the plot wants it to, pretty much.
As we saw in Frontiers, Sonic has used the Chaos Emerald so much that he has developed a natural chaos energy of his own without even using an emerald, just like Shadow. This allows him to generate energy projectiles and minor constructs, used in conjunction with his incredible speed.
Okay, if we're being really technical, those are not chaos powers. That is all like cyberspace stuff. That's like cyberspace kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's not exactly applicable there.
For deadly combat combinations. These chaos attacks are obviously anime-inspired, drawing heavily
obviously.
on many influences the Sonic franchise has taken from Dragon Ball. Speaking of which, let's get things started. Raditz is the first villain to appear in Dragon Ball Z.
All right.
A secret brother to Goku,
Getting
and
right on with it.
master of the oncoming Saiyan threat. The race of brutal warriors that have terrorized the galaxy for centuries. Raditz was far too strong for Goku, who only barely scraped out a win at the cost of his life, with a lot of reluctant help from Piccolo. To find out how powerful Raditz is, we can make use of power levels. I know that the entire point of introducing power levels was to prove that a good martial artist can overcome gaps in power.
Yeah, it's like, the whole point of introducing something like power levels was to immediately, like, spit in the face of something like power levels. So, yeah. So, you know, but then again, power levels are a good barometer of like general scaling, because if we know a person's power level, like Raditz having a power level of it was either 1200 or 1500 is Raditz power levels. Nappa's is 4000, Vegeta's in the Saiyan Saga is 18,000. Let's see. I want to say that Dodoria's is like 22,000. Zarbon's in his base form is like 24,000. It's 30,000 in his monster form. Ginyu is like 120,000. Frieza is 530 in his base form, 1,000,000 in his second form, something in his third form, we don't know. And then he maxes out at 120 million in his final form. Yes, I know all these power levels by heart. It is called autism, and I have wasted my brain space. And yes, you have seen me in art with Sane before. I have a lot of fun stuff with Sane.
Through training, ingenuity, and skill, but for the purposes of this video, they serve perfectly well enough for calculating feats and limits. To find Raditz's speed, we can compare him to Goku. As a child, Goku trained with Kami and Mr. Popo to dodge lightning.
Oh yeah, immediately like
1,000 miles.
Immediately like
training was
near light speed fight
Piccolo
like
in
speeds.
the World Martial Arts Tournament at the end of the original Dragon Ball series. In that fight, Goku had a resting power level of 260. We can compare that to Raditz's power level of 1,500, which gives us an estimated top speed of 1.5 million miles per hour, or 2,000 times the speed of sound.
God
In
damn.
terms of destructive capability, Raditz scales from both Roshi and Piccolo,
Oh,
who
yeah.
both destroyed the moon, overcoming its...
Yeah. The fact that they have, like, moon feats like that already, that early, like, it's like, I want to say, I'm pretty sure, like, Master Roshi's, like, max power Kamehameha, I'm pretty sure he caps out at a power level of, like, I want to say he caps out at a power level like 150. So the fact that it only takes a power level of 150 or something like that to blow up the moon, that's nutty. Like, yeah, like that shows that, like, the destruction of planetary objects is not that big of a feat in Dragon Ball.
gravitational binding energy and detonating it.
Okay,
did
seizure
so
warning.
first at a stated power level of about 100.
Yeah, right there.
Roughly 1/10 of Raditz's power level, and it seemed to take great effort. If we consider this the minimum required energy to destroy the moon, then Raditz is strong enough to destroy a small planet like Mercury.
I
Does
love
Sonic
Saiyans
come
emotes.
Anywhere near either of these hurdles? Let's start with speed.
Yeah, Sonic definitely does. I know how busted Sonic is, but let's let him explain.
First off, Sonic is at least as fast as sound. That's his namesake,
Yeah.
after all. He
is the Supersonic Hedgehog.
in countless game manuals, guides, and on Sega websites, including this page of the booklet included with Sonic Heroes. This means he is definitively faster than sound, or 768 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Beyond that, in Sonic Mania, the special stages include a speed gauge that shows he can run up to Mach 3, or 2,300 miles per hour. This
Okay.
is fast, but Raditz is still more than 300 times faster.
Yeah.
Let's take a bigger leap. In Sonic Adventure, during the final fight with Perfect Chaos, Tikal explains that you must reach your top speed to push through Chaos's body and reach the head.
Yeah.
And when you do this, you transform into a bolt of lightning.
Okay,
Later in
okay, I
Sonic
see what he's going with here.
Sonic fights and defeats Perfect Chaos in base, meaning he's at least that fast. 270,000 miles per hour.
Yeah, so he's getting up there. He's climbing up there, showing that base Sonic, and as of Generations, is on par with Super Sonic in Sonic Adventure, which, you know, that's something that everybody understands. You know, as long as you know, like, sliding timescale and power.
We're getting closer. One of the most well-known speed feats for Sonic, which was mentioned...
Why the fuck do you have Sonic Frontiers Sonic there, going up against Metal Sonic Render from I want to say, like, Sonic Rivals, Infinite, and just randomly Scourge the Hedgehog from the Archie comics? Also, yes, you can tell how much of a Sonic fan I am. The fact that I can just name off Archie comic characters like that. Yeah, that's kind of how I am.
In his death battle versus Mario is when he escaped the pseudo-black hole made of Hyper-Go-On energy at the end of Sonic Colors. Sonic ran his entire distance without any use of boost, so I don't think it's plausible to say that this is his absolute maximum speed.
He was using boost right there, though. He was using the boost, the color boost. I don't know how that compares to his normal boost, but, you know, he was technically using boost.
Because he escaped the expanding black hole, he must have been moving at relativistic speeds, about 30% the speed of light, or 200 million miles per hour.
Okay.
Completely blowing Raditz out of the water.
So he is definitely
even with
blitzing.
This ridiculous speed, it doesn't matter if Sonic...
Why are you using Minecraft
Raditz.
Sonic
Does he have
over
any
here?
Small planet level feats? Well, going back to his battle with Perfect Chaos, we know that Chaos threatened to destroy the world in the past,
Yes.
before being sealed away in the Master Emerald.
Yeah.
But this was after destroying the Echidna civilization, meaning there technically aren't any world-ending feats by Perfect Chaos in the games or the lore. That said, with how quickly he obliterated Station Square and how powerful the Chaos Emeralds are, I don't doubt his ability to life-wipe the planet.
Very
But
true.
Conservatively, we'll call Perfect Chaos city level, just for now.
Yeah,
A
I
much
mean,
better
he did
small
just wipe
planet
out a
level
city.
scale is the Death Egg, Eggman's giant orbital tribute to the Death Star. It has been described multiple times as planet-destroying and used to threaten the Earth, meaning its attack potency scales above Raditz, who tops out at small planet level.
I mean, it has to scale at least to the weird penis ship from Sonic Unleashed that was used to shatter the planet. Like, it has to scale to at least that. Plus, you have the Death Egg from Sonic Battle that uses the final Egg Blaster that blew away multiple stars. So, you know.
How does this relate back to Sonic? Well, Sonic has defeated the Death Egg robot, the giant mech suit at the heart of the Death Egg. He's done it many times, actually, and every single time, defeating the Death Egg robot immediately causes the Death Egg to lose power and come crashing down to the planet below. This has happened in Sonic 2, Sonic Mania, and Sonic Generations.
Oh.
The Death Egg is clearly powered by the robot at its heart.
You know, that does make me question things. Like that does make me wonder, because, like, the Death Egg robot, if it's, like, every time it's defeated, it immediately starts a chain reaction that destroys the Death Egg itself. Are they... I mean, it's reasonable to assume that they share a power core. And, you know, using the whole Death Egg to power the thing to fight against Sonic, you know, that makes sense.
Meaning the robot is also planet level, and so is Sonic. Raditz is getting smoked by Sonic.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
If lowly Saiyan wasn't enough, how about the Prince? Son of King Vegeta, the Prince of all Saiyans, came to Earth looking for the Dragon Balls, desiring immortality. Born with a power that completely outclasses the natural strength of every other Saiyan, he was a monster
almost every other
that
Saiyan
Goku could only overcome with the help of Krillin, Gohan, and Yajirobe. Vegeta's attack potency is super easy to calculate. We have a direct statement from him.
Yeah,
his
we're just
Gallic
skipping
gun
Nappa.
will destroy the Earth. A threat Goku takes very seriously during their classic beam struggle. In terms of speed, we only need to compare Vegeta's power level to Raditz. 1500 versus 18,000. And we can calculate Vegeta's movement speed at about 18 million miles per hour.
Okay, well, he's still being smoked by Sonic at this point then, because, I mean, we have Sonic clocked at 200 million at this point.
It should be that simple, but Vegeta has a trick up his sleeve, one people often forget. The Ozaru, or the Great Ape transformation, massively increases his size, but also his strength, speed, and durability.
Yeah, it 10x's everything.
Times, in fact.
Yeah.
This means he's strong enough to destroy a significantly larger planet, like Neptune. On top of that, his speed is a whopping 180 million miles per hour.
Still 20 million less than Sonic.
That is relativist, approaching light speed. And Sonic? Well, his previous black hole speed feat puts him at a comfortable 20 million miles per hour faster than Great Ape.
I mean, once you start reaching general relativistic speeds,
showing Sonic is around large planet level and attack potency if he's going to completely outclass Vegeta.
All right,
I'm
sure. Yeah, let's see.
First, we know that the Chaos Emeralds are at least planet level in the energy they contain. In Sonic Unleashed, each emerald is capable of overpowering the force of Dark Gaia and dragging an entire chunk of the planet back towards the core.
Yes.
The speed at which this happens means each emerald is exerting more than 200 nonillion joules. Enough force.
How many zeros does that planet have? How many zeros does it have?
Sonic has battled and defeated multiple characters utilizing the power of the Chaos Emerald.
Very true.
These include Chaos from Sonic Adventure and Emerald from Sonic Battle. Sonic defeats them both
Oh yeah, the Emerald feat. Like, the Emerald feat alone is nutty. If you really think about it for a minute, because, like, Sonic in his base form, but, like, fought Emerald. Like, Ultimate Emerald, who was empowered by all 7 Chaos Emeralds, the energy of several destroyed stars, and he had 3,000 years of combat experience. And Sonic, in his base form with no enhancements, beat him in 30 seconds. Canonically, 30 seconds. Sonic is nutty.
Multiple times, powered up by an additional emerald each time. This means Sonic attack potency and durability is at least 7 times planetary, not even including base Chaos or Emerald's power. That still doesn't cross the 10 times planetary mark of Great Ape Vegeta, but we're getting close, so let's keep going.
Okay.
In Sonic and the Secret Rings,
we're getting
Sonic
the secret rings.
Eraser Jin. Eraser
we're
Jin
getting to
is a
this one.
genie that absorbed 100 of the Arabian Nights, or worlds that held stories from the Book of Arabian Nights. Some people like to scale this all the way to low complex multiversal.
I mean, well, if those worlds take place on a world that has a sun and stars in the sky, then that is evidence that each one of the Arabian Nights is its own universe. So if Eraser Jin was powered by the force of 100 universes and Sonic beat him in his base form, I would call that pretty well multiversal.
because Eraser Jin had multiple universes of energy, right?
Yeah.
I think this is fairly legitimate, but if we're being conservative,
yeah, we got
would
if we're
consider this a
lowballing.
big leap to say that each story contained an entire universe. It's much more likely that every story was a pocket dimension holding only its own world, and not necessarily a unique fourth dimensional time space the same size as our universe. That said, it
If
would
they
be
have
very
stars
reasonable
and
to scale
suns in
this
the
up to
sky,
star level, since every world does have a sun.
but they also have stars.
Sticking to the very low end, this puts Eraser Jin at a minimum of 100 times planetary, or large planet level.
Yeah.
And with that, the Knight of the Wind surpasses the Prince of the Saiyans. Sonic beats Vegeta.
Using all of this funky ass
Frieza
fan
is
art.
the terrifying
Oh boy,
galactic emperor
getting straight to
that obliterated
Frieza.
the Saiyans and their homeworld.
Yeah, goodbye Ginyu, going straight to the
As he
Frieza.
bought and sold planets and wiped out civilizations without a care in the world. It was only after Goku learned to embrace both his earthly training and Saiyan
Real talk.
genetics.
Real talk, Tenkaichi 3 has some of the best music. Like, say what you want about, like whenever they re-released them and replaced all the music in the Budokai games because the guy who composed the Budokai games stole all his music. Yeah, but the Tenkaichi games are fucking bumping, dog.
And tapped into the legendary power of the Super Saiyan, that the terror of Frieza was finally brought to an end. So, just how strong is he? Final form Frieza is usually considered to be large planet level in attack potency, and this seems pretty accurate.
I mean, really, I would put first form Frieza in that scale, because I mean, the fact that he was able to use the power of a supernova from one finger to blow up planet Vegeta, which is a planet that has 10 times the gravitational strength of our own, that right there is like large planetary level already.
In the Bardock flashback,
yeah,
we
right
see
there.
First form Frieza casually destroy planet Vegeta with a single finger. Planet Vegeta has 10 times the mass of Earth. This may sound like a large planet, but it's actually pretty tame. Something like Jupiter has close to 1,000 times the mass of Earth.
Oh.
It requires significantly more force to overcome its gravitational binding energy. Seeing how Frieza's power level is about 6,000 times Vegeta's power level.
Yeah,
he likely
his max
taps
power
out
is 120
right around
million.
Dwarf star level destructive capability. This lines up nicely between planet level Vegeta and solar system level Perfect Cell, and it's supported by the Sun, a dwarf star, being a force strong enough to defeat Cooler in the Cooler movie, who Frieza obviously scales closely to.
Very true.
Large planet level it is. We can calculate Frieza's speed by comparing him to Goku. When Goku left the healing tank, he was on the opposite side of Namek from where Frieza was fighting his friend.
Oh yeah, I forgot how far of a distance that is.
Goku traveled from the healing tank all the way to Frieza in an instant. That is 1/2 the Earth's circumference in, at most, a single second. At 12,450 miles, this puts his speed at just under 45 million miles per hour, or 6% the speed of light.
Well, you have to bear in mind that was Goku in his base form, with a power level of 3 million. So I guess we're going to be taking that and just multiplying it up to Frieza's max of 120 million.
After this, he transforms into a Super Saiyan, multiplying his power and speed by 50. So we can conservatively estimate that Final Form Frieza, who almost matches Goku, fights at around 3.3 times the speed of light.
Yeah.
So, what's Sonic got to match up against that? Starting with speed, he's claimed on several occasions to be able to run faster than the speed of light. In this conversation with Omega, it's calculated he will reach and surpass that speed in a short while, and Sonic confirms
okay, so we're using
that light
statements
speed
now.
Is, quote, small time.
Yeah.
Beyond that, we also have a statement from the game manual of Sonic Unleashed that claims he can run at light speed. We know this is plausible because Sonic scales directly to Shadow.
Oh yeah.
On multiple occasions, the two are stated to be equals, rivals, and battle to a standoff. In Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow entered the circuits of a computer where his body was literally converted into photons, and he was able to move and react as he traveled through the system.
We're using that for light speed feats. That's kind of weak for light speed feats, but
Sonic also has a move called the Lightspeed Dash.
Okay, yeah.
Where he travels along a string of rings in one quick burst.
Okay,
This move
a little
is
bit but
obviously
closer.
called Lightspeed Dash, but has been stated by multiple sources in-game that this move is literally the speed of light.
Okay.
Knowing that, in the game Sonic Unleashed, the heads-up display includes a meter that tracks your speed in
Oh
SPD
yeah, the
units.
speed,
It even
the
notifies
speed
you on
gauge.
screen when your speed peaks. The Lightspeed Dash is clocked in with a value of 396 SPD.
Okay.
While Sonic's top running speed is a value of 4,399 SPD.
Oh.
Or 11.4 times faster than
Wow.
light. And for attack potency,
Yeah, they clearly did not think about the logistics of the SPD gauge.
in Sonic Chronicles, Sonic was able to damage the Voxai Overmind with a single strike. The Overmind were empowered by the Great Emeralds at the time.
God damn, fucking Dark Brotherhood was a trip. It's a shame it's never gonna get a sequel because Ken Penders decided to get all butthurt about the echidnas.
The Great Emeralds gave Tails Plane, the Cyclone, enough power to withstand a wormhole that destroyed multiple stars. Sonic damaged the Voxai Overmind, which were powered by star-level Great Emeralds. Then, in Sonic Riders, Sonic defeats the Babylon Guardian, an ancient being that creates and maintains his own pocket dimension, the Mobius Strip. We don't know the size of this dimension, but it does contain a sun. This dimension appears after his defeat, meaning the Babylon Guardian is at least star level. As mentioned previously, you could easily scale Sonic's defeat of Eraser Jin to 100 times star level.
Yeah, because each Arabian Night has a star because they have a planet that is sustained by a star.
For each Arabian Night world that contained a sun.
Yeah.
The Galactic Emperor is losing his crown. Sonic breezes past Frieza, easily outclassing him in both speed and AP. But what happens when you take the genetic material of both Frieza and his father King Cold and splice it with the DNA of all the strongest warriors Earth has to offer? You're left with the time-traveling, metamorphosing bio-android created as the dying scream of the Red Ribbon Army. Cell.
Not that it died,
In his
really.
perfect
It just
form,
kind of
Cell
went to
was
sleep
the
for a
very
minute.
first villain that Goku outright
Oh god,
refused
crusty
to
frames.
fighting, accepting defeat and ceding the fight to his son, Gohan. While Gohan's rage and latent potential...
Yeah, for real, I'm so sad that we never got another storybook game. Because, like, they had plans for more storybook games. Like, they literally put up a poll on, like, I can't remember if it was on Twitter or on Sega's official website, on a poll on what they wanted to do, what fans wanted to see for the next storybook game. And the fact that we were very close to getting a storybook game taking place in Greek mythology, that's such a missed opportunity, dude.
was enough to topple the android and win the day. Will Sonic have the same luck?
Oh, of course he
Before
will.
we get into scaling Perfect Cell, if you're enjoying this video and want to see me make more like it, please consider dropping a like and subscribing. It is the best way you can support me and what I do. I put out a new video every month, and you can always unsubscribe in the future if you change your mind. Hey, if this video does well enough, maybe I'll be able to afford that life-saving surgery for my litter of blind orphan puppies. You know, before I have to take them back to the puppy squishing factory.
Not the puppy squishing factory. You can't be doing that.
Anyway, Cell is super easy to scale because he, like Vegeta, has a very clear statement. In his final clash with Gohan, he explains that he will destroy
Vegeta's
not just
planetary
Earth,
level.
but the entire solar system with his
Frieza
command.
is
This
sun
statement
level.
is backed up in countless guides too,
And
so we're double sure it's legit.
Good
When
old
it comes
Cell
to
Boy
finding
here
Perfect
is
Cell's speed,
solar
all
system
we
level.
need to do is compare him to Frieza. We know that Frieza is large planet level, while Perfect Cell tops out at solar system level. The force to destroy a large planet is 70 undecillion joules, while the force to break the gravitational binding energy of our solar system is a staggering this many joules, about 43 million times more energy.
That was like 43
Assuming power and
zeros.
speed scale equally, we can scale Super Perfect Cell to about 140 million times faster than light.
Okay.
That's an insane jump in both power and speed. How does Sonic stack up?
Yeah,
Starting
enlighten
with
me.
power, in Sonic Battle, Eggman creates the final
we're
Egg Blaster,
actually going over this
an orbital
feat.
death
Okay.
cannon that fires a laser capable of wiping out multiple solar systems at the very minimum. Shortly after this, the android Emerald absorbs the power of the final Egg Blaster and transforms into Ultimate Emerald.
Yeah.
Sonic then battles Ultimate Emerald and beats him in under 30 seconds. This means that Sonic displayed, at a minimum, multi-solar system attack potency and durability. And for Sonic's next speed feat...
Yeah. Like, one of Sonic's best base feats alone is fighting and defeating Ultimate Emerald in under 30 seconds. Like, he is so busted. Also, hi, Varen. Nice to see ya.
Sonic Rivals, Eggman Nega pilots a spacecraft.
You gotta be really careful when you're saying that word.
Using the stars in the background and triangulating their movement to the position of the ship, along with the knowledge that the average distance between stars in the Milky Way is about 5 light years, we can calculate the speed of this ship as 546 million times faster than light. And Sonic is able to move along its surface, even reacting to and dodging meteors crashing into it, meaning he has reaction and movement speeds equal to or greater than the speed of the spaceship. More than 500 million
Jesus.
Speed, almost 3 times the speed of Perfect Cell.
Wow, I didn't even think, like Sonic Rivals is honestly one of the most forgettable Sonic games because I barely played them in my life, but I totally forgot about that kind of level of speed feats. Like, I didn't even think about that. Moving along a spaceship, traveling fast enough for the stars in the background to become smears moving past, and, like, avoiding meteorites swooping in at that speed.
I guess Sonic had enough experience fighting Ultimate Life Forms while clashing with Shadow, because Cell is just not fast enough.
Cell is cooked.
Perfect or not, Sonic wins again. But what comes next is not so easily defined, not by quantitative methods in the world of math or science. The primordial force of destruction, born from the mind of the demonic magician Bibbidi, the magical, uncontrollable Majin Buu. Buu is terrifying for a handful of reasons. Childlike
Buu is all kinds of crazy.
The mystery of his creation, the fact that he actually succeeded in wiping out humanity, or that our heroes threw everything in the kitchen sink at him before he finally went down. Vegeta's redemption, Super Saiyan 3, several fusions, none of them were enough. Only when Goku worked with both Vegeta and Hercule.
I mean, they could have been enough if not for the fact that Saiyans are cocky and constantly putting the thrill of the fight above all else.
They finally managed to put Buu to sleep with the power of the Spirit Bomb. Buu's strength and speed are pretty nebulous. There aren't any good feats or statements to show exactly how strong anyone in the Buu arc actually is.
Yeah, everything in the Buu saga kind of
power to Perfect Cell, and
it just kind of melded together.
Assume Super Saiyan 2 Goku is equivalent in power to Gohan in the Cell games.
Well, actually, we do know that we do know really that actually Goku and Vegeta both by then are actually stronger than Gohan was in the Cell games.
Then we know Buu tops out at 4 times that, or Goku's strength as a Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah.
But that's only Fat Buu, not Super Buu with Gotenks and Gohan absorbed.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
Buuhan is all kinds of different levels.
Before I did any research, I was expecting Sonic to tap out shortly after fighting Vegeta. But time and time again, he has proven me wrong. So just to keep things spicy, we're going to say that Buu is galaxy level in attack potency and scale his speed accordingly all the way up to 50 septillion times faster than light.
Oh.
I know that realistically, Buu is not galaxy level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, it all depends on how you scale him. Because, like, especially, like, I would say that that's pretty fair to say that Buuhan with, you know, with Piccolo, Gotenks, and Gohan absorbed, I'd say it's pretty close to what I would put him at. Like, Fat Buu and Super Buu are kind of nebulous because technically Fat Boo and Super Boo are the same strength. They're just using that power in different applications. And then Kid Boo is technically the weakest. He's just so incredibly unpredictable that he makes up for the like lowered strength in just sheer like chaos.
Because that's such a tremendous jump in power. Such a jump, in fact, that this is an estimate that power scalers are much more comfortable using for characters in Dragon Ball GT. But I think Sonic can do it. Let's see if I'm right.
Okay.
Starting with speed. Some people claim that Sonic's speed is immeasurable, or faster than time, due to several feats. The first is in Sonic and the Secret Rings. Sonic runs through an infinite dimension to enter the astral plane, but nowhere does it imply that he crossed the entirety of this dimension, just that the dimension itself is infinite. It's very possible and extremely reasonable that he simply ran through a portion of this infinite dimension. There's
that's reasonable to assume.
Forces. Infinite creates a dimension of null space that he traps Sonic and the Rookie inside. Unused dialogue shows us that null space goes on forever, but the two of them manage to break out of it anyway. The reason this feat is so questionable is that it's never stated how they broke out. Well, it's
that's because Sonic Forces doesn't bother explaining anything. They don't. Like, Sonic Forces is an underbaked mess, and there's a reason why I say the game is, on a fundamentals level, worse than Sonic 06. Because, like... technically Varian, the moving and stop time feat is from the Archie comics, and those aren't canon to, like, main Sonic. So, and this is already, like, not regarding any of the comics. I don't even think it's regarding IDW, which is canon to Sonic. Because Archie is its own continuity.
Possible they somehow ran the entire distance. It looks much more like they simply found an exit, or perhaps even broke a hole in the dimensional barrier with their speed. Either way, this does nothing to imply that Sonic is faster than time.
What does imply that Sonic is faster than time is him and Classic Sonic quite literally using their speed to fix the timeline in Sonic Generations.
The last feat is from
Sonic Generation. Here it is, right there.
Early on, after the Time Eater tore apart his timeline and left various locations devoid of life in the white space, the two Sonics can, quote, accelerate through time, unquote, to restore the world. This line is interpreted very literally and used to define their speed as immeasurable, but there are multiple other much more reasonable interpretations. The first of which is that here in the white space, time is literally projected onto three-dimensional space. By slowly walking to the right, the Sonics are technically moving through time. It might not be their speed, but simply their presence that reverses the damage.
I mean, Tails explicitly states that Sonic is using his speed energy to fix the timeline. And also, the Archie comics weren't canon, like, period. Like, they were their own thing. Sega did not acknowledge the Archie comics, like, in general. Like, especially whenever they started to consolidate everything in the early to mid-2000s, the Archie comics were just, like, a promotional thing. They didn't actually start to put more focus into the canonicity of the comics until after they started IDW, and Sega was more directly involved with the comics at that point.
The second possibility is that they only need to move at light speed or close to it, the point at which relativity literally accelerates time from your perspective. There's no way of definitively claiming that this is an immeasurable speed showing. So, unfortunately, it turns out there aren't any speed feats that put Sonic as any faster than 500 million C.
I mean, I could probably think of a few.
At least not reliably. And unless you assume his fights with Eraser Jin are actually multiversal, which like I said is a stretch, then Sonic's not any stronger than a multi-solar system buster either. I really thought he could do it, but it looks like Sonic is losing to Majin Buu. Just kidding. Strap in, it is time to go beyond. The Chaos Emeralds are ancient, otherworldly artifacts of unending power. Literally, they have infinite, never-ending energy, just like the androids from Dragon Ball. How much power you can get from them, though, depends entirely on what's in your heart. When Sonic collects all 7, he awakens the full might of the Emeralds. In his glowing golden state, Super Sonic.
Yeah, it is funny. Like, this whole time he's been doing this breakdown, he's been doing base Sonic. He hasn't even touched on Super Sonic.
Much like the Super Saiyan transformation, Super Sonic is magnitude stronger than his base form. But unlike Super Saiyan, it is not a mere 50 times multiplier.
Oh yeah, it is
Super Sonic
supremely
is
much higher.
Much more than that. In Sonic Advance 3, after transforming into his super form, Sonic grabbed Eggman and flew him into space, chasing after Gemerald. In only 6 seconds, they make it to a star cluster inside a nebula. The closest nebula to Earth is 1,300 light years away, meaning Super Sonic flew, with Eggman in tow, at 7 billion C. Then, in Sonic Rush, Super Sonic and Burning Blaze fly to a separate dimension.
Real talk, I love Blaze so much, and I'm really happy because I don't know if you play Sonic Speed Simulator, the official licensed Roblox game. They're finally adding Burning Blaze and adding a bunch of Sonic Rush Adventure stuff to it, so I'm really excited about that. I don't play it often, but I'm gonna play it just because they have my babe Burning Blaze in there.
To battle Eggman and Eggman Nega. We see them soar through space and pass by galaxies until they reach the edge of the observable universe and enter a separate plane. In about 8 seconds. This clocks them in at roughly 180 quadrillion C.
Yeah, I know why Sega started tightening down on it. Like I have like Sonic autism. Like I know why I know why they did it. It's because of the whole lawsuit shit with Ken Penders. I know all about that. But like, reasonably speaking, the Archie comics were never canon. They were always considered their own universe. So it's like they were always considered like a divergent canon, like something separated from the games, because the games never acknowledged them. And it was only after the cancellation of the Archie comics and the IDW run began that Sega was more directly involved, because before they were just a licensee. And Archie was a license holder. And now Sega is more directly involved with everything going on with the Archie comics. Or not Archie, but IDW.
Super Sonic defeated Dark Gaia, who casually overwhelmed the gravitational binding energy of Earth by tearing the continents apart and pushing them away, and also passively held them in place. In Sonic,
it is so weird to me that Super Sonic had a health bar in there.
Layla as Darkspine Sonic, then recreated the entire Arabian Nights, 1001 separate worlds, all with a wave of his hand. This was Darkspine Sonic, who is explicitly stated to be weaker than Super Sonic.
Oh yeah.
The World Rings scale so much lower than the Chaos Emeralds. The Chaos Emeralds in lore each hold an entire universe of chaotic energy. We see this first in Sonic R's Radiant Emerald track, where the race literally takes place inside of a Chaos Emerald.
Yeah.
Stars, planets, and nebula are all visible in the periphery.
Yeah, like that is so weird to me that like an entire universe just exists in the Chaos Emeralds.
Depending on how you interpret this, that could mean that using all 7 emeralds grants the user the attack potency of 7 times universal. And due to their infinite nature, that energy is not split up among multiple users.
Yeah.
It's equally applied to each. In Sonic Generations, both classic and modern Sonic destroy the Time Eater, a 4th-dimensional being that transcends and tears apart the timeline, and exists in its own extra-dimensional domain outside of time-space.
I mean, I'd say the Solaris feats are a bit more impressive than that, but I got a feeling we're going to be getting right into that.
That makes them 4th-dimensional in attack potency. In Sonic 06,
yep, there it is.
Super Sonic battles the Mad God Solaris alongside Shadow and Silver. Solaris is a super-dimensional deity beyond time that was capable of tearing apart the fabric of reality.
Yeah.
Could attack the past, present, and future simultaneously, and
the idea of using Boom Sonic as the future of Sonic is so hilarious because it barely lasted 2 years. Like, God, if Sega hadn't dropped the ball with Sonic Boom, like it could actually be like a simultaneous multiverse of series running. Like honestly, like let's be real, because you know what happened with Sonic Boom, right? The fact that it originally started development not long after Sonic Lost World. It was like 20. It was very. I think it was like the earliest concepting phases for Sonic Boom, and the whole like franchise like spin-off as a whole started in like 2009 or 2010, and it was in development for a while. And it wasn't until like a year out from the game's scheduled release that Sega suddenly dropped the ball and told Big Red Button, "Hey, by the way, you're no longer developing for the Xbox One and PS4 anymore and the PC. You're developing for the Wii U, a console that your chosen game engine was not designed to run on." Yeah. So if Sonic Boom actually had the proper time and proper development cycle put into it, it could have been good. But, you know, Sega do what Sega do.
And was stated to be actively ending multiple timelines. The three of them were capable of avoiding his attacks that possessed immeasurable speed through non-linear time, overpowered and defeated him. The Sonic 06 guidebook even states that Supersonic alone is more powerful than Solaris.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on how you interpret this fight, that places Supersonic...
Yeah, because, like, Supersonic alone is already stronger than Solaris. The only problem is that he had to defeat him in 3 different forms of time simultaneously. So Silver fought him in the future, Shadow in the past, and Sonic in the present.
As high complex, multiversal, or fifth-dimensional destructive capability.
Yep.
Obviously, this means Supersonic possesses immeasurable speed by avoiding the attacks from Solaris that strike acausally.
Yeah.
But Sonic later shows off this immeasurable speed while fighting Supreme at the end of Sonic Frontiers, attacking multiple times without the appearance of movement. And this is where things truly get crazy.
Oh, yeah?
The End is a being that is above gods and monsters, an all-encompassing force that surpassed the power of just the Chaos Emeralds. The End was so powerful that even with the Emeralds and the 4 Titans, the Ancients had no choice but to create a digital universe, cyberspace, to trap the End inside.
Oh, yeah.
During their
the
final
End
battle,
is busted.
The End looks into Sonic's mind and states that it surpasses all other foes he's fought, describing them as finite while he is infinite. Yes, the End says that infinite is finite. That means the Phantom Ruby, Perfect Dark Gaia, the Time Eater, the Final Hazard, Perfect Chaos, Eraser Jin, Emerald, Gemerald, and even Solaris.
Yep.
All of them are like specks compared to the End. If we interpret this literally, the End is an entire dimensional tier higher than the strongest of them.
Now, you could argue that technically the End couldn't say that about Solaris because Solaris was wiped from history. But there is evidence in the Japanese versions of, I want to say Team Sonic Racing, that Sonic remembers the events of Sonic 06. So there is some evidence that leans to that, like Sonic making little cheeky references to Sonic 06 when talking to Silver, and Silver's just like, what are you talking about? But yeah, so there is some evidence that Sonic does in fact remember the events of Sonic 06. And also, yes, Styx was mentioned at the end of Sonic Frontiers. She was mentioned. And also, Tangle was mentioned in Sonic Frontiers as well. So, yeah.
Solaris, making it at least a 6th dimensional being. But I think a more concrete and easily interpreted scale is that the End is literally the conceptual embodiment of death that can override not only time and space, but other concepts like fate. The End has...
Well, I mean, that is explicitly stated by the game director on Twitter, that the End is meant to represent the metaphysical concept of death.
An abstract existence, is the self-proclaimed orchestrator and arbiter of order in the universe. It's essentially an eldritch god that wrote several of the laws that govern reality.
We need Sonic fighting more eldritch gods.
Fate itself. And Sonic even says that he must, quote, break the chains of fate to defeat it. As their fight comes to a close, the end admits that Sonic has transcended law and time. Supersonic scales to not just a causal speed, but a conceptual strength, altering
Sonic,
fate
yeah.
and the laws of reality.
You can see why I say Sonic is so insanely busted now.
Even if you're not convinced by the scaling of base Sonic, these supersonic feats are extremely clear. Supersonic is easily multiversal with immeasurable speed, acausal reaction speed, stronger than both fate and logical laws. If it wasn't clear already, Supersonic completely outshines Majin Buu.
Oh yeah.
They're not even in the same league anymore. Depending on how you interpret these feats, Supersonic not only blitzes through Dragon Ball Z, but possibly all of Dragon Ball Super. We know the absolute pinnacle of strength in the Dragon Ball multiverse is the Omni King, and even he has clear limits. The fact that multiple versions of him exist across different timelines means that his power and existence does not scale beyond a single multiverse with a linear temporal dimension. Meanwhile, Solaris threatened all existing timelines, and the End is arguably an entire tier of dimensional power above him. And both fell to the golden glow of Supersonic.
Yeah. So, you know, Sonic just casually gets past Majin Buu, immediately takes out Beerus, Golden Frieza, all of the Universe 6 tournament, Goku Black, and Hit. Yeah. Now you see why I stand 10 toes down on the fact that Sonic is incredibly busted.
But why? Why? How is Sonic so powerful?
Because he's a cool blue dude with attitude.
This, unlike everything I've discussed so far, is entirely headcanon. It's not stated anywhere in the series, and only very vaguely alluded to, but I personally think it makes quite a bit of sense. To be frank, it is extremely surprising that Sonic is so powerful. I thought that he would fall to planet and star-shattering villains like the ones in Dragon Ball.
Nope.
But he prevailed every single time. Why?
Because he's just that busted.
Why is Sonic so strong? Why is he so fast?
Okay, lay it on me. What do you got? What do you got going?
The comics have attempted to give an answer for where Sonic gets his speed, but he has no origin in the canon of the games. Here's my pitch. The Ancients are a race of beings made of sentient water, and Chaos is the god of water.
Technically, he's the god of destruction. And that's only because, you know, he's known of having previously destroyed the world in the time of the Ancient Echidnas. So, you know, I mean, he does have godlike power because of, you know, his proximity to the Chaos Emerald, to the Master Emerald, because technically, Chaos is not an ancient. Chaos, because the Ancients regressed into Chao. If you didn't know that, the Ancients are Chao. And then a Chao was mutated back into their original form, kind of, into Chaos. Now, the more you know.
Solaris is the god of fire. Gaia, the earth, manifests as two deities, light and dark, to represent the sun and the moon. In the world of Sonic, we've seen many deities that represent the forces of nature, but we have never seen a god of the wind. Sonic has always been characterized as carefree, energetic, and incredibly fast, all attributes closely thematically tied with the wind in stories throughout all of history. Sonic has countless moves and attacks that create whirlwinds. He owns a plane called the Tornado. His best friend is the only fox in the world that can fly through the skies.
Okay, I see what you're cooking.
The wind that blows free.
I see what you're cooking.
On Angel Island, there exists a mural depicting Supersonic battling Eggman for the Master Emerald. Sonic's existence was prophesized centuries before his birth. After saving the world together during their battle with the final hazard, Shadow even admits that he is not the ultimate life form. Sonic is.
Okay.
Of all the beings in the world, Sonic alone was the Iblis trigger, the reason the god of flames fully manifested. And what causes a flame to burn hotter? Wind.
Okay, I was gonna cook you for that line, but then you just had to, you know, follow it up with that bit there. So I'm going to retract my words.
Sonic alone was worthy to wield Excalibur. He is the Knight of the Wind, and maybe, possibly, the god of it too. Or maybe it's not that complicated. Maybe what you see really is what you get, just a guy who loves adventure.
Absolutely.
Stay frosty.
Well, now you know why I gas up Sonic so much. Like, that last bit there, obvious headcanon, you know, kind of going off on its own thing, but still. I gas up Sonic so much because I know how busted he is. I know how crazy the feats are. No matter what the writers and the lore team will tell you, being like, oh, Sonic, he runs at the speed of sound, and like Ian Flynn saying that Sonic couldn't even beat Kid Goku. Clearly, he doesn't understand how power scalars work. And we take all tangible feats and we put them up against things and see how they fare. And now you see why Sonic is so freaking busted. But yeah, let me know what verse you would want to put Sonic up against. Like, and would he stand a chance in them? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, do not forget to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and ding that bell so you know when I upload, and it helps me out in the algorithm. And as always, I will see you next time at the HQ. Bye-bye.